Oh my gosh, it has been a extremely long period, long time, however you want to say it, that I have created a video for you guys. I would say maybe it's been like a year or so. Yeah, it's actually been a year because when I think about it, the last video that I actually made was right after I came back from China, and I had just had an article written about me, and then I guess I just said screw it all and I didn't create videos anymore. Um, but yeah, here we are again. Really, the purpose of this video, as I don't even know where the heck to look at because I'm recording on my phone because I don't know where my camera is it's going to be about an update of what's been going on with me, what's been going on with crypto mining, and then additionally, it's just going to be like, okay, what are we doing moving forward, right? Because there are some major updates, or I wouldn't even have made a video, right? But yeah, I mean, let's hop into it. I want to make this one take. I'm not doing the whole, I'm going to, write down what I'm going to say thing anymore and, make 10, 15 takes because as you can tell, before I make this truly a floating head video, I moved. So we don't have the house anymore. Sold the house, which is part of the update, I guess, and made a killing off of that. Probably made like 6 figures, a little over 6 figures selling the house, able to pay off all the debts, which is also great, right? But with that, being able to pay off all the debts, then I was able to make some big investments, which I'll get to later in the video. But yeah, I would say probably that's like the biggest update. Like where I'm at right now is the apartment. But let's get into the mining part of things and the finance part of things. That's why you follow me, is because of finance, mining, and crypto. So yeah, I mean, outside of that update, let's get into the crypto. All right. So I'm going to bring up my screen and then it's going to cover up this and we're going to talk about my Bitcoin mining. So with Bitcoin, I have a couple mining firms that I use, and then I also have my own mining company that I use, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. I use Luxor for my one mining pool, and primarily I have uh, Basic Mining, which is the company that hosts most of my Luxor pooled ASICs. I also have Neopool, which is where most of my ASICs from BitCat go to. And then I also have F2 Pool, which is where all of my other mining rigs go to. And let's just take a look at this. So as I'm trying to record this now. All right, so now that we got it recorded, which is great. So with Luxor, like I said, Luxor, the company that is holding most of my ASICs there is called Basic Mining. They charge 0.075 cents a kilowatt hour, which is absolutely horrible. I'll pull up the calculations as well there for how much I'm making profit wise, and we'll do it on the fly here. So what I like to use is I like to use Watamine. They've been around for literally years, right? So if we go not to this one, but to this one, Bitcoin, and we put in the power of what we have there. So we essentially have like, I think 3 rigs because one failed too many times. And let's go ahead and pull up the calculator as well and do the calculation of the watts. So it's about, I would say, 3,400 watts or so, because they're S21s, times 3, that's about 10,200 watts, all right? And then we have about 3, so it's about 600, give or take. It's usually a lot less, but it's about 600 terahash. And then again, we can change the cost here to 7.5, and we can figure out how much we're actually profiting or losing going with basic mining. So let's go ahead and calculate that. And with basic mining, unfortunately, we are losing $8 a month, right? That is not good. Any sort of loss of money with any investment is not good. But also, basic mining is American based. That's why the electricity is so high. Just like with any hosting firm, they get a rate that's probably like, I don't know, 4, 5 cents, 6 cents. Even though I've never seen those sort of rates for a company before. I was going to do some mining with a big company here in Pennsylvania. And our rates were only going to go down to like 8 cents, which is dog water, right? Like there's no way or purpose to mine at 8 cents. And then even for me, there's no purpose to mine at 7.5 cents, right? But I'm doing it because I have a contract with these guys. Once the contract is over, I'm moving all my stuff to my place because, again, I'm paying a lot less in regards to hosting. All right, so that's that. We're losing about $8, whatever, right? Now let's look at the other, I would say, what is that? That's 2 plus, wait, let me see. I think I have, I'm trying to see how many rigs I have over at BitCap. I'm guessing it's 5. I guess it's 5. Even though they're mainly at Neopool, and then I guess I have 2 over here. There would be these 2 down here, which are pulling a decent amount of hash rate, which is kind of surprising that it's pulling over 200. But we'll just stick with the 200 per. So that would be, if we have 5, that would be 1 petahash, right? So we have about 1 petahash, which is 1,000 terahash. And 5 times the 3,400 for the wattage would be 17,000 watts. And then with BitCap, we're paying 0.073. I think some of my rigs are like 0.068 or something, like pretty decent. But again, that's too much money. And also, American company, great to support America, whatever, but man, I'm sorry, like I'm trying to make money. I'm not trying to lose money. And the electric rates here are way too much. So let's calculate this. And here, with that amount of hash rate and that cost and then that power, somehow we're in the profit just by having a little bit less kilowatt hour, right? Cost from 0.075 to 0.073, we're actually in the profit, but not by much, right? With the current price of Bitcoin being what it is, now we're at about $9 profit. But you gotta subtract that profit from the profit from the other company, which you're actually losing money. And that was $8 losing money, right? So really you're only pocketing $1 a month doing this, which, I mean, hey, it's residual as $1 a month, but that's not why you get into mining. You don't get into mining to make $1 a month. Now let's do the calculations for my own mining company under the techruche name. And I can't disclose where my mining rigs are, just for the safety of the mining rigs. I won't even say what country that they're in. They're not in the United States, but the rate is 0.0428, which is extremely low. And Also a plug for the company. Sorry, Terra Hosting. No shade to you, because I know they also host and do YouTube and stuff like that. But our rate is, nobody can beat it. And two, we have tons of space. So if you're interested, I think I said this in a short before, please just reach out. Like, we have the space, our rates are extremely low, and we can help you make money right away and ROI as quickly as possible. Because for most people investing, that's what they want to do. They want to have a quick ROI. They don't care about anything else. And most of the people that I talk to, they like crypto. That's why they get into it. They don't even care about crypto. They just want to get their money back, and then they can sit on and figure out what else they want to do after they get their money back. And back when Bitcoin was above 80K, I think the ROI time with the current prices of ASICs was like 5 months, which is freaking insane. I think now, because it's gone down because of the macroeconomics of things, wars going on, tariffs and all these other crazy things, which now they've decided that tariffs are illegal. The Supreme Court said that they were illegal, at least the way that they were being implemented. You can't implement those sort of, I wouldn't call them laws, but like, I don't know, we'll just call it what it is, tariffs against other countries, just blanket like that without any sort of due process, which typically in the United States, everything has a due process. Yes, it takes time, but also it's okay to take time with things, instead of just thinking that you know everything, have it go through a committee, research, etc. Otherwise, you're just like any other person that just thinks that they know anything and everything without any sort of research or calculations, whatever. But yes, that's what I have to say before we get into these numbers, because these numbers are freaking crazy. I don't know. I kind of go on tangents a lot, but let's get into these numbers. So again, I am sitting at as it says here, 4.4 petahash. There should be a lot more rigs on right now, but some of the rigs are being fixed. So I should have 30 up. But right now, this is what we're rocking with. So we'll just do with the numbers that we're rocking with, just 4.4 petahash with 25 rigs. Or it looks like one is down, so we'll just do 24. So we'll just do what we have. Instead of using S21s here, I'm using T21s, which consume a little bit more power. So instead of the 3400 wattage, we're going to do 3550, just because it's a lot more with a T21. And it's also a little bit less terahash per, but I digress. So we'll multiply that by 24, and now we're rocking with 85,000 watts, which is a lot of wattage. So 85,200 watts. But with the terahash though, it basically also quadruples just about. So from that 1,000, and before we have like 17,000 watts, now we're at 85, but now we're at 4.4 petahash, and then we can change the kilowatt hour to 4.28 cents per kilowatt hour. Leave the BTC value the same, the block reward the same. Calculate this, and now you look at the profit per month. And this is why I'm probably gonna double my hash rate like immediately when I get the funds. But now looking at the profit, it's $1,347.36 a month, which is absolutely insane. And this is money that I guess, or Bitcoin, I guess I'm making not doing anything. I'm sitting on my ass, checking to see if my rigs are up, hitting up the maintenance guys, which I'll pop up on the screen later, and saying, hey, we got some rigs down, like the one that I saw. I need you guys to either reset it, figure out what's going on wrong with it. Is it a fan? Is it a hashboard? Is it because of a power surge? Do we have to replace the machine? Whatever. My guys, where they're at, which again I can't disclose, but they will fix it and they will put it online, and then that's even more hash rate for me, which means even more money. To go even further with this, which I'm just doing because we're at What to Mine, and What to Mine is a great calculator to figure out these things, figure out what your profit margins are, etc. Let's just look at one T21, which is typically 190 terahashes. Again, add the power to it, and with the cost, each T21 is bringing $61 in profit a month. When I bought these T21s, they're a bit expensive. They're a lot cheaper now. I think you can get them for like 780 or so to like 800 bucks per T21. When I got them, they were about 900 bucks, which is a lot. But with the current price of Bitcoin, these things are making you 61 bucks a month, meaning that with an $800 T21, and you're making 61 in profit, you can get your ROI in 13 months, which again, that's because that is the current price of Bitcoin and the current price of the T21s. But if you are instead paying out of pocket and paying the cost of everything and then just absorbing all of those fees, like I said, that's why me paying off my debt is such a big thing, because now I don't have to pay other stupid bills. I can sort of capitalize on just keeping the Bitcoin for myself and keeping the asset that is traditionally going up in price. We don't mess with meme coins. I wanted to say something else, but we don't mess with those. We mess with things that have actual, I would say, value, because they have a finite supply. But let's say if I was paying out of pocket the cost per month, and then the revenue of these things is actually $171 a month, and you're paying the cost out of pocket, you just divide that 800 per machine by the 171 of revenue at the current price. Mind you, price fluctuates, can go down, can go up, but then you're sitting at a 4.6 month ROI. You're paying out of pocket. That's absolutely amazing. Okay. And that's why I kind of want to get back into showing you guys sort of what's going on, getting back to creating some content again, because I see a lot of people are still mining shitcoins. I'm just going to say it now. The video's already past the moment where YouTube stops monetization or stops like recommendations for cussing or whatever. So I still see people mining shit coins with GPUs. I still see people considering, well, I have, 10, 20, 30 GPUs and I want to run a AI farm. And I think that this is the best thing for me because people are renting on Salad or renting on some, whatever the next thing is. I don't know what the next thing is. Salad was like a year ago. I have no idea. I haven't done any research because I really don't care. Because to me, you're competing against all these data centers that are coming in. We have a huge data center coming in Homer City, which is a couple miles away from where I'm at, and they're going to be doing AI. You're competing with those guys. And unlike crypto, you're competing against those big guys and then renting your little farm against theirs. And I'm sorry, you're going to lose out. AI is not decentralized. AI is truly capitalistic at its core. So when you're competing against those guys, you're going to lose. And there's a lot of people that say, okay, well, mining is essentially dead. Like either you mine the shit coins or you do you take your GPUs and do the AI stuff, and then all of the home mining stuff just doesn't work because it's expensive, and then your electric rates are, 10 cent, 11 cent, 12 cents. I've even seen some people with like 15-cent electric rates if they like live in, I don't know, Canada or something, where I'm surprised it's even worse than over here. But yeah, it's not dead. It's just you guys aren't doing it the right way. And if you want to do it the right way, which means take your rigs somewhere else where there's cheaper electricity, then talk to me. Again, I'll be going over everything with this and with my mining. I'm not like hiding what's going on here. I think that when I'm going to basically review everything that's going on with my rigs, I kind of want to go over, all of the different companies like we did just now. I want to go over the hash rates. I want to go over what rigs are up and what rigs are down. Very similar to like a Voss coin, but like unlike a Voss coin, I'm not doing everything here. I don't have a huge solar farm and all of these sponsors and things like this. This is literally just me doing my thing and showing you how much I'm making. And I'm currently doing extremely well. And I think I probably wouldn't even be making a video if I couldn't brag, to be quite honest. And I'm able to brag, and it feels absolutely great. So that's that. I probably should have wrote something down because this video is going to be super long. So with that being said, I just want to end it, really. I don't know what more to say, but if you guys have any comments, if you have any feedback, or if you are interested, obviously you can write whatever in the comments. I really don't care. Feel free to also, if you like the video, like it. If you didn't like it, dislike it. That way you won't be recommended my videos anymore, which is actually kind of helpful. I don't know why people don't ask people to dislike, because when you dislike, then that kind of helps me, because if you're not going to watch the video, then it kind of hurts my video. So if you don't like it, get out of here. All right. Anyways, for those who did stay, subscribe, and yeah, I will holler at you guys later and update you later.